Oh, yeah, it is a sweet Saturday morning, and Iowa State in the round of 32. I can't wait to get into it all here on Two Guys. Williams, obviously the biggest story is one ankle for Joshua Jefferson. I'm going to put you on the spot here. Just based off what you've heard and what you feel and how he looked, what are the chances that he is going to play meaningful, effective minutes on Sunday?
How I feel and how what I've heard, it's
put it all
positive.
Together.
It's very positive. How it looked, it's not positive.
Oof.
You know?
I thought he was done coming off the court. I thought there was no way he was going to play the rest of the year.
Yeah. I think he'll play.
Really? You think he's going to play against Kentucky?
I mean, listen, I'm just speculating. I don't know anything.
I know.
I want to be very clear with our audience about
that.
Like, nobody knows. But I think he'll play. I just don't like, is he at 50%? Is he? I don't know. I do think he'll play.
He wasn't putting any weight on it.
Yeah, that's the thing. No pressure.
But they said,
I know, precautionary.
With Vic Miller, the head athletic trainer, they did that on purpose, though.
Well, but if you watched him closely coming off the court, and I'm sure they did, after the X-rays and all that, they didn't want to put any pressure on it. But coming off the court, he was trying to put some pressure on it, and he couldn't.
Yeah. Well,
and
the good news is,
go ahead, Chris.
Well, I was just going to say, Taint Candy in the comments says that J-Jeff can have his ankle.
Okay. You can have one of Taint's ankles.
I mean, last year it was the groins. Now it's the ankles.
I honestly
at least it's more positive than we thought it could have been, I think, when he came off the court.
The headline for my column yesterday sums it up perfectly. I said, March trauma doesn't leave Ames. It just waits. It's just every freaking time. I was explaining it to some of the younger people on the Iowa State beat because they don't some of these people don't even know who George Niang is, because they're in their low 20s and this is their first job. They weren't around. And I was like, this is the exact same thing. I gave a lot of good young TV people great leads yesterday. Go and dig up that footage. Because that was Iowa State's, in my opinion, that particular team was the best chance at a Final Four dating back to 2000.
Still made the Sweet 16. Still beat a blue blood without him.
And then this team would be the next one, and it was almost the exact same thing. But damn it, Hassel, the X-ray was negative. You're telling me there's a chance?
There's a chance, 100% chance. We're going live with a full Two Guys here on a Saturday.
Welcome back to Fairway Market Madness. It's crunch time in the final freshest four, with Romaine going head-to-head against Oranges. Let us see what Frank's main squeeze is. And Oranges just peeled the deal. Fresh always wins at Fairway.
With the Iowa Lottery's new Millionaire for Life game, you could win $1 million a year for life. That could make you a My Dream Job is No Job-millionaire. A front row tickets to every show-millionaire. A hire a personal glam squad for you and your bestie-millionaire.
Yep, a little further.
Or just to never run out of your favorite pickles-millionaire. With Millionaire for Life from the Iowa Lottery, you can change your life for life. Play today.
Woohoo!
Grammy-nominated country artist Tyler Childers presents Snipe Hunt, performing at KC Center July 15th with special guest Wednesday. Get tickets now at HighVTix.com.
Chris Williams, Chris Hassel, two Chris's, one network. This is Two Guys. Presented by Fairway Meat and Grocery. From the Channel Seed Studios, this is Two Guys. Exclusively on Iowa Everywhere.
All right, welcome to the show. Special Madness Saturday installment of Chris and Chris. We are in the Channel Seed Studios. We are presented by Fareway Meat and Grocery. Matt, is it grilling season? Are you grilling today?
Oh my
I heard
God.
it's like
Dude,
80
it's going to
in
be
Iowa.
90. It's going to be up to
90?
90 degrees. here.
Insane.
Yes, 90 degrees.
That is insane.
Yeah.
Man.
We had the
Can't even
snowblowers going last week and the mowers going this week. So
Man,
Grill your meat on the pavement today.
you got to love Iowa weather. You know, you just never know.
Yeah, it's
You
no
never
wonder
fucking
that Van Wook is about as clogged up sinus-wise as a toilet.
I'm cleaned up. I'm clean today. I'm good. Let's roll.
Okay. Wow.
Still a little nasally. He was a rough listen on Murph and Andy on Wednesday. Sounded
Yeah.
like he had his nose plugged.
Yeah, well, AD takes vacation on the busiest week of the year, and someone's got to step up.
What about Aiden
Love you,
Wyatt?
AD.
Love Aiden. Aiden
Yeah, moving?
chooses to move on the week of March Madness
He's moving out of your basement for good.
for the first time. Yeah,
He's moving during the
leaving my
best
basement.
weekend of the year.
Oh, that's a bad.
That's about as bad of a decision as you made on Thursday night when all these incredible games are happening. AJ DeBonsa's going nuts for BYU in the first half in their game, and Williams is out at some like high-end steakhouse on the 35th floor of some high-rise.
That's incorrect. It's not
And
what
there's
happened.
no TVs. He's got no TVs. That's a poor choice from toppling Goliath.
I went out and met my friend Matt, who he invited me. It was actually this wonderful like rooftop bar that overlooks Busch Stadium.
That
actually
wasn't a
really-
bar. That was like
It was a
like
bar.
an intimate steakhouse.
But and I love Matt, and he's probably going to listen to this, so I need to be quite kind, and I appreciate him scouting these things out. But it was a poor choice to not go to a place with more televisions at that.
Matt,
at
I
that
just sent
point.
you a picture that Williams sent me of Jake Brend, who is, it looks like a 6-course meal that he's got in front of him. You're in front of these big, huge windows overlooking the arch. You see the whole city. It's a beautiful view. It's probably the first time Brend has ever had a nice meal like that.
Yeah, Brand
and-
just eats like chicken strips and yeah.
And it looks like a place you take your wife for like a 10th wedding anniversary.
Wow, look at that view. You got the arch in the back.
I know. I staged
Thursday
the arch.
at 7:00 with 4 games going at once.
And a red velvet cake. What is that?
Yeah, they had dessert and coffee afterwards. What an idiot!
Poor choices.
Yeah,
Man,
it's
there's
bad.
a lot of poor choices that we could go to. We have Aiden Wyatt. We have this disaster of a meal. We have you have a beef with St. John's and where they were seated after that shit stomping of Northern Iowa yesterday. By the way, did you see that all favorites won games yesterday?
Yeah, all the favorites won straight up. First time since at least 1992.
Cinderella's dead.
Hey, who's that watching us?
Aiden just sent us this picture of his family. He says, "Thanks for calling me out in front of my whole family
Ah.
while we're moving."
No. I'm sure that his
Is that
family
Aiden's
agrees.
mom?
Yeah,
Good
she's
morning, Miss
lovely.
Wyatt.
I hate
Lovely
it.
woman.
Seeing the moms of like Aiden and Brend, like
They're like our
they're
age.
like our age. It's just
I know.
it's not right.
Everything I do on these work trips, I run through the moral compass of Jake Bryn's mom. Like,
Jake
we're missing-
Brand's mom has got it going on.
All right. Yeah, we'll start with the ankle. We got to get into Iowa, and then we'll look ahead to Sunday. And I'm being 100% real with you. That is my gut. I think Joshua Jefferson will play. I just don't know
Man.
how healthy he's going to be. I do think he'll play though.
I got to imagine that today, despite all of the great medical staff, everything that they did last night and that they're doing now, that ankle is the size of a basketball. That ankle is the size of the ice that was
God, it
wrapped
looked
around
so bad. It looked bad.
I do not, and look, I'm not basing this off anything that I've heard out of Iowa State or any kind of medical knowledge, just from watching people sprain their ankles in the past and how they react immediately after. I find it really hard to believe that Jefferson is going to be able
Matt,
to
what are
play
you doing?
meaningful minutes on Sunday. And
Don't zoom in on that.
I'm also doubtful. I don't know that he's going to play meaningful minutes next week either. That's just how I feel. And I hope I'm wrong, because you might need Jefferson to win this game. I know Iowa State's still favored, but it's baked into the spread. Iowa State would have been probably a 8.5-point favorite with Jefferson. And what are they now? 5.5?
The good news is they have said this, it's a low ankle sprain.
Yeah, that's good.
Which is huge.
Partially, but you can still really sprain your low ankle.
Can we talk about this real quick? And they beat Tennessee State.
It's down to 4.5, by the way, the line.
We don't really I would take the points.
So right there, that tells you with Kentucky?
Take the points.
Yeah.
I mean, that's
probably. I mean, I still think they can win without him.
I think their defense is going to give this Kentucky team a lot of problems. This isn't exactly a well-oiled machine. It's just a bunch of really good athletes that run up and down the floor and honestly, watching Kentucky in person, I wanted to play Santa Clara because the Kentucky crowd, I think, is it takes that edge away for Iowa State. But they are the body language and all that comes with Kentucky is not impressive.
But what I worry about is
it's the athleticism
and the way they won that game. They now feel like I'm sure internally they feel like we're the team of destiny now. Like that was the worst case scenario for Iowa State, is Kentucky winning it in that way. Now they're believing. And I don't know that this team has believed. They really do now believe that they are going to make a run in this tournament, and the regular season didn't mean anything. And here we go with OA, one of the best players in the country.
They're kind of like an NBA team where they don't really play that hard until they need to. And I don't know. I didn't want any piece of Kentucky. I think the game is a total toss-up. I really do. Now, having said that, I think that Iowa State's defensive pressure, and that really isn't Jefferson's. Like he's a good defender, don't get me wrong, but talking like with the guards and stuff, that's gonna give Kentucky problems. Now, that doesn't mean I think Kentucky's length and athleticism is gonna give Iowa State a lot of problems as well. But I don't like this matchup for Iowa State right now and how it sets up. And I'm absolutely shitting myself thinking about Sunday.
Well, that is our mightiest moment. The OA banked in 3 to send it to overtime. My Mighty M pressure washer, I hear, is on the way. Nice. I can't wait to get that thing out and just squirt everything.
Very nice. You don't squirt with a pressure washer, you idiot. you blow it.
Word.
We're at that time of year though, where you get the pressure washer out and you can shoot iguanas with it down there.
I haven't seen a live iguana in a month now.
Really? They're all dead?
They all died in the cold snap.
The freeze killed them all?
Yeah.
Mighty M, that is MITM.com. Support these folks because they support us. If you're in the market for a pressure washer, air compressor, generator, anything like that, they got it all. The mightiest moment of the week. Being in that arena was crazy.
What was your vantage point of that? What was that like?
I was happy because I wanted to play Santa Clara.
What do you mean you were happy?
I was rooting for Santa Clara.
Well, yeah. Why were you happy that he made the shot?
Hear me out, because they hit the shot with like 2 seconds to go. And then it was like this extreme change of emotion. And I was also like, it's just so funny. The Kentucky media is insufferable.
They were probably standing up on the media table.
Yeah, they're like taking their shirts off, pounding their chests. Like they are Nebraska media. Like it is something else. And the Kentucky media was like the day before, they're all like actively around the televisions rooting against Duke. You know, the blue blood thing.
Uh-huh.
Kentucky is a very it is. I would like to think even Iowa fans we can all rally around the anti-Kentucky and SEC thing heading into tomorrow. They are insufferable. Like it's a really easy fan base to hate if you've been around them at all.
Yeah.
And for some reason, Iowa State is always in a pod with Kentucky.
I know. When I covered Iowa State 15 years ago, they played them, right?
Like
the Anthony Davis team.
Yeah. This is like the 4th or 5th time they've been in the pod with, even if they're not playing them, like they're always in the same.
Is Ashley Judd still front and center with that fan base all over the place? She was all over the media room 15 years ago.
I have not seen Ms.
I didn't see any shots of her during this game.
Yeah, I don't know. Is she still famous?
I mean,
like,
I'm not
sure I would recognize her if she walked by me, to be honest with you.
Oh, yeah, you would.
I don't know about that.
I think that there's going to be I think there are going to be a lot more Kentucky fans there on Sunday.
They're all going to drive up. That's the problem, because they're just like their team.
They're believing
now. They're like, oh, we have a shot, and it's a hop, skip, and a jump up to St. Louis.
Oh, Josh Betts said, yeah, she was there. CBS showed her. Be on the lookout for Ashley Judd Williams on Sunday.
All right, I'll look her up for you.
I had a conversation with Rotisserie Chicken, Mike O'Donnell, who's a great college basketball analyst for CBS Sports, and he was on set with me at CBS Sports HQ a couple of days ago, and I'm going to take you into the comfort zone for something a little reassuring, I think, from him on this matchup with Kentucky.
I would love that.
Kick back and relax. Two guys have entered the Wyckoff Heating and Cooling Comfort Zone.
Wyckoff Heating and Cooling, WyckoffComfort.com for peace of mind under your roof. What did the Rotisserie Chicken have to say?
He thinks that the key to this game is Tamin Lipsey.
Wow.
Who didn't have to do much in that first game, obviously. Tamin Lipsey, he believes, is going to cause some real problems for Kentucky and OA specifically. The way that he can frustrate players. And I think Kentucky, that's as we kind of alluded to, they are an easily frustrated team. Like you get them going in a spiral, and they may circle the drain.
Dude, they were like, if a guy would make a bad pass and turn it over, his teammate would mock him on the floor. Like the body language was horrible with that team. Like it was bad.
Well, Mike says Lipsey is the ultimate pressure release valve when Kentucky runs their ball screen action. And he believes Lipsey is going to have to guard OA.
And then, can we talk about Killyan Toure for a minute? Freshman record for Iowa State with 25 yesterday. And first of all, what would the odds have been if I would have told you that Jefferson and Lipsey are going to combine for 3 points and Iowa State is going to set an NCAA tournament school record with 108 points? And those guys would combine for 3.
Crazy.
Like it, truly an unbelievable stat.
I love the way this team responded after that injury, and it was all on the back of TJ. I mean, I'm sure he had some
he called a timeout. It was at the 16 and under timeout, and he hulked up.
Oh, yeah. Like, that's about as animated as I've seen him in a game that was never close. I mean, at one point he was ready to run out on the court and fight one of those Tennessee State players that got ejected.
That flagrant too. Did you see the look on his face?
Your interview with Toure before the game was great. Like the perspective that he gave, that he'd never watched the NCAA tournament, and for like that just wasn't a part of his mind. So like this is just another tournament for him. Like obviously it's ramped up, but
so Maddie, did you see the Dom Plato one too? So they have Iowa State has these two freshmen, which by the way, Plato's playing really good basketball now. He's from Germany. So you have the two of your three freshmen, and neither one of them are even like aware of this tournament and like what it means. And they're just like, oh, yeah, this is weird. There's a lot of people that come to this. Like I told Toure, I'm like, yeah, when we were kids, we would like skip school and act like we were sick and stuff so that we could, oh, really? He's like, that's what we do for soccer. And like, he has no clue.
Well, that's great. Because that means, that they're not going to put extra pressure on themselves, and they're not going to look at the name on the front of Kentucky's jersey.
Shout out to him, though. He was scared to shoot 3 weeks ago. And he's 4 of 6 from his last 6 3-pointers in the last 2 games. And he's playing, he fought through that, which is, and same with Nate Heise. Like,
Have we gotten to the bottom of why these announcers are calling him Heise?
Well, you were bitching about this.
Yeah. It's driving me crazy.
I was literally at the time sitting next to the CBS announcing crew yesterday. And I wanted so badly during a timeout to be like, hey, you're mispronouncing this.
Well, I want to know, like, maybe we're all wrong. Maybe have we all been saying his name wrong?
He's not mispronouncing it. He's the inflection's in the wrong spot.
Right. They're saying Heise. Shop Heise. But they did the same thing. The same crew did the same thing at Iowa State. Like someone had to have told them that the emphasis is on the Z. We got to get this fixed before tomorrow. I can't sit through another game with that pronunciation. Will you please? Will you talk to?
I'm gonna do my
Nate
best. Okay.
Heise.
So I gotta make a list here. I gotta find Ashley Judd.
Nate Heise.
Yeah, and even Iowa State has the emphasis on the high on the pronunciation on the website.
Nate Heise.
It's like, and they're putting like extra stink on the Z. Heise. And Nate Heise with the bucket.
Heise.
Here's a question for you. So at the tournament they do so like this is a little inside media here, but the locker room's open and the media can go and talk to these guys, and then there's a press conference where they bring the coach and 3 players, like key players from the game.
Mm-hmm.
What Vegas odds have been that for Iowa State's first NCAA tournament game, it was Dominic Nelson, Nate Heise, and Killyan Toure, the 3 players. I don't even think it would have been on the board. One of the oddest tournament games I can remember. I don't even feel like I didn't even really watch the first half because I was just so sick.
Same. I was that injury happened, and I immediately went to social media and just started soaking in the reactions and looking for updates and looking at videos that were posted of him, of the injury, of him walking. And I look back up and Iowa State's up 40.
Because they went on that 23-0 run like shortly after it. Yeah.
Well,
crazy.
Well,
I'm glad that Rotisserie Chicken likes Iowa State here. That's good.
I'm worried. I'm really worried.
I am too.
For Iowa State. I don't think that Joshua Jefferson is going to be in any kind of shape to have any kind of positive effect on this game. I hope I'm wrong.
Well, and you also
that's just how I feel.
There's also this weird mind thing because he is an All-American, and
he was playing his best basketball in months.
What if he can go out there and give you 60%? And is his 60% better than playing like Plata in those minutes? Like, like it's a really weird because you kind of got to go with the guy who got you there. But like, could he hurt you by trying to play? I don't know.
I think he could. I mean, you play against those athletes on that side at 50 or 60%. I think that they could really take advantage of that. So this is going to be a really interesting day. Are you going to be? Does Iowa State have a practice shoot around or anything today? You guys are going to be at?
They won't do a shoot around today, but they will. We do have media and all that stuff, so that's coming up early afternoon.
Okay,
I'm going to literally get off the air. I'm going to go and inject myself with tee shot, go and work out from Game Day Men's Health, and then I'm going to go to the game.
Okay, all right.
Or go to the arena.
Now to our top story. The Iowa Hawkeyes. First year, Ben McCollum. He's unbeaten in the tournament, 1-0. What a beautiful game that was. That was one of the most enjoyable watching experiences I've ever had. Iowa leading start to finish.
We got a little hairy at the end.
Yeah, role players. Cam Manyow. He can't shoot a free throw to save his life, but damn, he was effective on those boards. This was huge. Iowa needed that. Ben McCollum needed that. The fan base needed that. You needed this kind of cherry on top of a really good start to an era. You couldn't afford to go out there and look bad in the NCAA tournament. You had to win this game.
Especially with the way they ended the regular season,
right,
too.
Right. And it was like, it was all the role players. Bennett Sturtz didn't go nuts. He didn't have a particularly great game. Tavian Banks didn't have a particularly great game. It was just everyone stepping up in ways that you didn't really expect. I mean, Cale Combs, there were times during the year like, what is he? How is this guy starting? Why is he seeing any minutes, let alone 30? Well, the guy had the huge shot to start the game on a horrible offensive possession. The shot clock's running down. He's just got to launch, and he makes it. Sets the tone for the game. And then when they really needed a bucket with about a minute to go, he comes through again. He gets you 15 points on 7 shots. And Tate Sage, but what in critical moments when Clemson had cut that lead, Tate Sage with just initiative. Like he took the ball, he took it to the hoop. And Ben McCollum talked about it after the game. Like that's the stuff that they weren't doing for most of this season. They weren't being aggressive, taking the ball to the hoop. And they took advantage of Welling being out for Clemson. That killed them. Yeah. I mean, the way Iowa out-rebounded them, they were all over the offensive glass, and they could take the ball to the hoop and not worry about a 6'10", 6'11" guy waiting for you. That was a great game plan. And obviously, Scott, I'm kidding. That wasn't a beautiful watch. I was being facetious.
That game was a grinder.
I could tell just by listening to the announcers that they were having a hard time watching this game. It was like making me miserable because I could tell they were miserable. But I was miserable because I was just waiting for that Clemson run. You knew they were going to have a run. You knew they were going to get this thing close. And they did. They were down as many as 13, and they cut it to 1. But Iowa always had the shot. I thought the biggest play of this game was when Clemson cut it to 2. And their fans are starting to get into the game. Dabo Sweeney's throwing popcorn around. And Iowa comes down, and it's Bennett Sturtz. And he hadn't been great, but he drills a 3 to up it to 5. And then, boom, timeout, McCollum. I know Jake Bren hates those timeouts. I love them.
Well, it reminds us of Steve Prohm.
Steve Prohm would call a timeout after Iowa State would make a basket.
Yeah, that's where we get this from. That was Prohm's thing.
It's not like he's calling a timeout during an 8-0 run. I've noticed that he does this when Iowa is struggling a little bit, and then they make a shot, and I think he calls the time. Okay, deep breath. Let's reassess. We're still up 5 now. We're up 5. We're in a great spot. And
Prohm would always say, because we would ask him, why do you call a timeout in Hilton Coliseum when the crowd starts to cheer? And he would say, because I like to do it because I like getting my team in a huddle when they're feeling good.
Well, so Jay Chicken says he would call a timeout when Hilton would be going nuts on a 10-0 run. And that's different from what McCollum does.
Yeah, well, but you want to know like why Brend has like prone PTSD.
Yeah, he sent a text immediately after that timeout, pissed, and I was like, "This is great. I love this timeout." I mean, his philosophy is to use timeouts. Like a lot of coaches save timeouts, and then sometimes you never end up using them.
Yeah,
and he even had one left for a challenge at the end of the game. Which
yeah,
I think he's learned from.
That was key. I saw our friend Chad Lysico wrote a little bit about that because that challenge was huge.
Yeah,
at the end, you know.
And so look, Iowa had 4 NCAA tournament wins from 2002 to 2025. 4 in 24 seasons. Ben McCollum, year 1, comes in and wins a tournament game. And now it feels like anything would be gravy at this point, but I do think they need to be competitive with Florida. Like, you can't go get shit stomped by Florida. And I think they can be competitive. Mike O'Donnell has Iowa winning this game. Now, he's not the gospel.
Really?
I get it. He does. There's certain things that Florida is going to just destroy Iowa at.
10.5 is the line for people wondering.
They are huge. That's are
Iowa's
monstrous problem. Inside. Yeah. They are going to destroy Iowa inside. This isn't going to be a game like against Clemson where you're getting 15 offensive rebounds. Florida is going to get 15 to 20 offensive rebounds, but they don't shoot the 3 ball well. They don't have great guard play. BJ Taylor, who is an analyst at CBS, said after their loss in the SEC tournament that he doesn't think they can make a deep run because they don't have guard play this season. They had Walter Clayton Jr. last year. They don't have that this year. They've got great guys inside. Iowa's got to be able to neutralize that by making threes. They have to make a bunch of threes.
Yeah.
They have to turn Florida over. Florida has also been susceptible to turning the ball over. Now, I'm not saying they're going to win. I'm not saying it's going to be a one-possession game at the end. But I do think the way Iowa plays, the pace that they play at.
It's an equalizer. That's why you play that way. I
think that they can be in this game with 10 minutes to go.
I agree with you there.
But you have to make threes. You absolutely have to make threes.
And they absolutely have to be disciplined with uglying it up too. Right?
Yeah.
Like you can't try and get into a track meet at all.
You can't turn the ball over.
What is Florida's tempo? I would need to look that up. What do they play at?
I don't know that off the top of my head.
I'll find it. 29. So they like to go.
They go and they get it inside, and they just absolutely destroyed Prairie View A&M. And it's going to be a home crowd. They're going to have a home court advantage.
If I'm an Iowa fan, I like the fact that their tempo is 29. Because that means that Iowa can just, and I promise you this will be the game plan, that Ben is going to hammer these guys with, we don't shoot until under 5 on the shot clock every time. Unless you have a wide open layup or corner 3, you do not shoot the ball unless it's under 5 on the shot clock.
And he did that time and time again in this Clemson game. There were, I don't know if it was Tyler Tashman or somebody else that was tweeting about that was sitting next to McCollum, that like he was screaming at the team if they shot the ball with 10 on the shot clock, or if they got into some action and there was still 10, 15 seconds on the shot clock, he wanted them to keep that until the final 5 seconds. And it worked against Clemson. I do think that they're going to have to take some chances with open threes early in the shot clock.
Yeah, and the weird thing
was, because if you wait, you're not going to get an open look.
So the Clemson thing, it didn't matter as much because their tempo is incredibly at 339.
Yeah, they played just like Iowa.
Yeah, Iowa's tempo is 361.
Why do you think that Florida playing at that tempo is a good thing?
Because it's easier to slow a team down than it is to speed them up. Because
they want to play fast.
If
Iowa can frustrate them.
Yes. That's why you see a lot of these really good coaches in the first couple of years when they don't have the dudes play so slow. It's a little bit like Kirk Ferentz football.
Mm-hmm.
Like Iowa, I would say it's less relevant now, but 5-6 years ago would play this boring because you're limiting possessions so they can't score every time, or so they, when in basketball, it's really easy to walk the ball up the floor. Like I can control that. That is the one thing that Iowa can control in this game. Now, but the other key is and this is just basketball 101, but you need to get stops, right? Because after a make, Florida can set up its defense, they can pressure you, they can do all of these things, but after a miss, slow it down, walk the ball up the floor, right? You can do all these things to dictate that tempo, and this is clearly a team that likes to run, so you can jack with their head a little bit. I kind of like that for Iowa. Yeah. I didn't know what Florida's tempo was. It makes me feel better about Iowa at least covering in this game because of that.
And look, I'm not picking Iowa to win this game by no means. I'm not saying they've got no chance. I think with their style of play and Bennett Sturts, that Iowa has a chance to really make this a game. And that's all I'm asking as a fan. Let's make this a game. And if you do that, you're defending champs in front of a home crowd in their home state, put some game pressure on them, and they could start to sweat.
Well, what time is that game?
Is that the 7:10 Eastern time game on?
Good, so be able to watch them both.
So Iowa State's at 1:45. Iowa is at 6:10 Central. 6:10.
Okay. Yeah, that's perfect. Absolutely perfect. All right.
Hey, you see this? So they have two games, one at 12:10 Eastern, one at 2:45 Eastern. Then there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 games starting at 5.
Drives me
after
nuts.
5 o'clock.
So what they want
to
do
get it
is
in prime time.
Well, what they want is they want 2 standalone games on CBS featuring brands, just with nothing else going on early in the day. So you got Purdue against Miami in the first standalone game at one spot, and then Kentucky, Iowa State in the next standalone game. And then you jump into St. John's, Kansas, also on CBS. And I hate that that's how they do it, and they always have, at least recently. And it's the same thing today. I mean,
that
today
actually makes sense, but
there's 2 standalone. They got Michigan in the first game.
Yeah.
Then they've got Michigan State, Louisville in the second game, and then it's TCU, Duke in the third game. All those on CBS, and then a bunch of games at once.
On this note, I want to go long on something. Shall we?
Let's go.
It's time to go long with Wealth Charter Retirement Planning and Tax.
And again, I admit this might be a little inside media for some, but it's to me, it's fascinating. The NCAA tournament is one of the most tightly controlled. It's like, I don't know how to compare it, but you walk in to cover an NCAA tournament, and you know, like the Seinfeld, the soup Nazi.
Yeah,
where you have to
good comparison.
You have to be very proper
mm-hmm.
with the soup Nazi, or he won't give you the soup. No soup for you.
Yeah, he'll kick you right out of the stadium. He'll yank your credentials off.
So I understand why the NCAA does some of this stuff, because there are entities like CBS and Turner that pay, hundreds of millions of dollars for these rights, and they purchase them. And like, I get it. There's an investment thing. Everybody's making money here. I understand it. But some of the rules that have been placed under like local media, it's absurd, to the point where if I'm like local TV, like there's even kind of a point, like, why are we even here?
Mm-hmm.
What are we even doing? They're not actual media policies. They're basically broadcast protection policies disguised as like rules. And like, so like yesterday, for instance, like everybody wanted to see Joshua Jefferson come back to the bench on crutches and like
they wanted to see how he was getting along in the locker room, in the hallways.
Yeah, that's the story. And we could not take a video of Joshua Jefferson walking in the back in the tunnel.
That used to be the one thing that you could do. You couldn't shoot. And when I would go to cover NCAA tournaments, you were not allowed to shoot anything on the court, nothing. But what you could do is you could camp out in the hallways and shoot all you want down the hallways as the team goes to the locker room or their celebration, what have you. And now you can't even do that?
No, you can't. I can't. For a decade, I've been doing these live Cyclone Fanatic post games, like where I just give my thoughts. I can't be live in the arena. I can't go.
Not even like back in a dungeon workroom.
I cannot be in the janitor's closet live, because that is their intellectual property. And it again, like, part of me is a business person. I understand that these big entities purchase these rights. I understand it. But Chris, this industry, and we're going to start to see it more and more locally, they're going too far with this. Like, they're going too far with these things. These specific like schools, you're seeing this all over the country now, where schools, I made this prediction yesterday, and I hope I'm wrong. I bet in the next 10 years that there'll be similar type of policies put in at different like stadiums and stuff across the country, where for like shooting highlights and stuff, like I truly believe that's where this will go, because everybody's obsessed with control and monetization, and they're gonna, the number one promotional aspect of this tournament is the media, right? Like, that's the reason there's interest in this tournament is because media covers the teams all year long leading up to this. And I don't think we need special treatment or anything like that. Like, the not being able to shoot Joshua Jefferson being on crutches in the freaking back of the arena is insane.
Well, I thought the best video of the day was from Shannon at KCCI that she had, that they forced her to delete, which was showing Jefferson for the first time on crutches. And the CBS broadcast showed it. Like, they showed him on crutches going into, I think, the x-ray room or whatever, into the locker room to get x-rayed. But she had this long video, and we all saw it, and they made her delete it. And then you guys couldn't post anything that you had.
No.
Like, what? As a reporter, the first thing you do when something like that happens is go try to report on the story.
Yeah.
That was the story.
Because at that point, other than Iowa State losing to a 15 seed, nothing else really mattered.
Was that you that sent me something earlier in the week that they were charging $6 for like little chips, like a little fun-sized chips in the arena?
Yes. Yeah.
So when I was covered, they used to have these elaborate spreads, and I'm not saying they need to do that, but like it's getting to the point where it's almost like they don't even want you there. Like, they don't want local media there. They really don't.
It feels like
it's an annoyance.
And it actually feels like that just around the country too, when you go to the different arenas, and like it, because a lot of these entities, like these, they all have their own like media teams now, like the teams do, right? Like, I'm sure Iowa and Iowa State football and like UNI, like they all have their own media departments. So it's like, they're kind of like competing with you now, or they view you as competition and not not the media who covers us.
Mm-hmm.
It's just and again, to be honest, I don't really particularly blame anyone here. It's just kind of organically where we've gotten in this, but it was just like, it was maddening yesterday. All we wanted to do was report on Jefferson, and we couldn't do what we were there for. And I am thankful, like, after the game, we can go into the locker room and interview him. Like that was
huge, I was wondering
right?
if they were going to make him available. I mean, TJ could have easily said, hey, go
awesome.
Get out of here, go start getting ready for, your rehab process. We don't need you talking to the media and have the media. But no, I thought that was a good move to let him talk.
And he was great. Joshua was awesome. Again, like, I really want to be careful, because I understand a lot of times media will bitch about media things that other people just don't care about.
But fans want to know, like,
yeah, and like CBS, they're not in the back waiting for Jefferson to come out of the locker room. Like, it's a hyper local, you know what I mean? Like, just what is having a local? We need to protect local media. Like, it's democracy, for God's sake. Like, we shouldn't be, my greatest point, and I'll just leave it here, is this sport is a marathon. College basketball starts in like October with media days, and it ends in April. Okay. And it's really a March sport.
Ironic how it starts, right? With media day. It starts with media day and it ends with get the hell out of here, media.
Well, and the point I'm making is it's really kind of it goes by market. If you look at the different, like, Indianapolis is a huge call. It's kind of like the opposite of football, where down in the South, like, you see, like, Birmingham's numbers are always high.
Yeah, it's Indianapolis, it's Louisville.
Nationally, college basketball isn't really a thing until March, if you listen to the national shows. But what drums up the interest in these teams all year long is the local media outlets who are covering these teams. It's not CBS, right? Like, and I don't blame CBS. They're not doing any of this stuff. This is an NCAA thing. I don't blame the local SIDs. None of that. It's just,
the SID. I mean, the SIDs have to enforce the rules. The people at Iowa State, I'm sure they have to enforce those rules.
Yeah, absolutely.
I don't know that they necessarily want to, but
no, I don't.
To.
I don't think, like, the local people probably agree with any of this, but they have to do it. Like, there's no. I don't really blame anyone here, but I'm telling you, like, what my fear is, and it's why I wanted to speak out on this today, is I hope that people will start talking about this so this doesn't happen locally, where these larger entities that own media rights, like, let's say, like, so for Iowa, it would be the Big Ten Network, right? Like, so the Big Ten Network, what I would fear happening down the road is that they would say, if we are in town, we own the rights because we own the league, and Channel 13 can't shoot highlights on the court on a game that we're televising. I could see that happening. I hope it doesn't, but we need to talk about it to make sure it doesn't. That's my whole point. Or that, like the Learfields, like, they pay a lot of money for rights for these schools. Like, and I get it if I'm them. We're trying to look out for our investment. But you can't just keep squashing the people who are there drumming up the interest 365 days out of the year. And trust me, I've been doing this 22 years. It used to be, Chris, the spring game ended and I would go to Florida for 10 days and wouldn't work. We cannot do that anymore. This is a 365-year commitment now, day a year. And, like, with the portal, like, it doesn't stop.
And you know why? Because there's an appetite from the fans for that.
Yes. And, like, TNT and, like, True TV is not going to be doing that in the middle of July. They're not going to be covering, right? So by squashing us at this tournament the way that they're doing, they're weakening us. And when I say us, I just mean the media in general. And there's going to be layoffs because of it, because it's not as valuable anymore. And these entities can't sell the product. And that just hurts the fans, and it ultimately hurts these programs because they're getting less exposure. There you go. End of my rant.
Good stuff. Totally agree. I mean, it was 15 years ago when I was doing it. It was already bad, and it's gotten worse. And unfortunately, I thought that was a good point you brought up, that some of these schools now feel like they're competitors because I mean, if you get it like an overbearing coach or powerful coach or an athletic director, you start trying to control all the narratives and you just want to be state media, right? You want to be everything positive and control the narrative, and local media is not for that. Like even Cyclone Fanatics, Cyclone's in your name, but you're going to cover them without bias. Like you're going to cover the stories. You're going to tell it like it is. You're going to criticize when criticism needs to be made.
And it's like, I always put myself into it. Like I'm a Vikings fan. Okay. The only time I go to Vikings.com is when I need to look at a schedule or I want to buy tickets.
Mm-hmm.
Like I don't go there to read. I go to The Athletic and I read the Vikings reporters and the analysis on the team. Like, and it's nothing against Vikings.com or Hawkeyes.com or like they all serve a purpose. We all live in this ecosystem together and should support one another and not try and cut everybody off at the knees every chance that we get.
Ditto.
Damn. My aura ring, the stress level for me just peaked. I can see it.
Yeah, how's that aura ring going for you? You like it?
You know, it's been a rough month for me in the sleep category for
some low
reasons.
readiness scores.
Oh my God. It's just like, actually it's funny. So the reality is I've been getting up every night at 3 a.m. to give my wife her medicine because she's on a very strict pill regimen. And my aura ring like thought there was something seriously wrong with me for waking up at 3 a.m. every day. And I started to get these like, hey, you seem to be having issues sleeping through the night. You should consider this. So my aura score went crazy when Jefferson went down yesterday.
Oh, I bet.
It was like, you're going to have a heart attack. All right, let's go shout out to our friends at the Casey Center, Matt. Like, I could use some good country music right now.
You could use some country music. Thomas Rhett's coming October 22nd.
Ooh, yeah.
But can I interest you in a little Wayne?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, a little Wayne. A tiny Wayne.
2 Chainz.
Little Wayne.
Mr. Wayne.
Little Wayne. Little Wayne.
20 years of Carter Classics. I got to be there.
Now, what does that mean?
Is that his name, Carter?
Well,
I mean, he had the Carter 1, 2, and 3, like the album.
What does that mean? That's his album?
Is he related to
Carter
to
albums.
Hove? Is he related to J Hove?
No.
They're like buddies though, because Lil Wayne,
Hove?
Jay-Z.
No.
Why'd you call him J Hove?
It's his nickname.
It is?
Hova.
Yeah. Hova.
Really?
Yeah.
Hova D's nuts.
Well, I would like to go to this show, Matt. I would go to this one with you.
That's like a week after my birthday. You want to take me for my birthday?
Well, we were supposed to go to the West
E40.
Coast Rap Tour last year.
E40's coming next month. The Horizon Event Center.
Wow.
With
dude, Matty, I'll go with you, brother. I'll go with you. That'll be great.
Speaking of the West Coast, man, I knew Northern Iowa was in trouble as soon as I saw the St. John's draw. St. John, not only do they get a 5, they win 19 of 20 games. They beat UConn twice. They win the Big East regular season and tournament title. They get a 5 seed. They send Pitino's ass out to California. And man, were they ready. Holy shit. It was like 20-4 with 13-0 right off the bat.
I was explaining this to my wife because she's oddly invested in St. John's because she saw them play Iowa State out in Vegas.
Oh, right.
Yeah, so she's more interested in them, and we were talking about the matchup, and the way I described it to her, I said, if you would just line up the two teams without jerseys on and like just put them in like without shirts on, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, and like one team will look like a high school team and the other one will look like an NBA team. That was this matchup.
Just it's too bad because Northern Iowa did a pretty damn good job the rest of the game.
They did, yeah.
They just dug so big of a hole.
Didn't they get it within like 12? And like you kind of like, yeah, they're in the like early in the second half, they made it a little bit of a game, and then it was just
yeah. You dig that hole against a team like St. John's, and I think that they cut it to 13, something like that in the second half, but they just couldn't they couldn't get that within 10 and put some game pressure on St. John's. That's a team that was they feel it doesn't matter if they were disrespected or not. All it matters is if they feel like they were, and they felt disrespected and they were pissed off and they were ready to prove a point. And Ben Jacobson said that after the game. I saw some
He's like
some
hulking over the UNI kid.
Jacobson's like, this team is not a 5 seed, and they're not. I mean, come on. That all this talk about Vanderbilt being the most underseeded team, I think it's St. John's.
Can we put St. John's over Kansas as one of our locks of the year?
Yeah, what's that line?
I don't even know.
I had that in my bracket. St. John's 3.5. Yeah,
that's one of the locks of the year.
I've got St. John's beating Duke to get to the Elite 8.
That's empty your Circa account on St. in my opinion.
Yeah, I agree.
Kansas, man, they got a little bit of that Kentucky thing too. And again, I kind of think Kentucky might win, so I don't want to talk too much shit. But like I'm telling you, sitting courtside and watching them, their body language sucks. And that's where Iowa State has a key advantage in this game, is that culture thing. Like Otzelberger will have those dudes. Oh, it's the blue blood, and he is gonna.
And we're banged up. Yeah. Jefferson's hurt.
Iowa State will have the snubbed edge on the All-American thing the other day. It was
he should have been a first teamer. He should have been consensus first team.
He lives for this. Like,
rarely can a 2 seed have that kind of mental edge against a 7 in the second round, but he's going to be able to get them there.
Could I make this fair? I'm just thinking through this. Without Jefferson, so let's assume he's not going to play here, okay? Mm-hmm. In this argument, you might be better off playing Kentucky than you would have Santa Clara.
Potentially, yeah.
Because you can use this emotional thing as a tool, and it also, you lean into your defensive strength more, I think, without Jefferson on the floor. You're going to play smaller, more high pressure, and your entire game plan is to just fuck with the heads of these, and you're going to call them. It's kind of like what I do with you. Oh, these elitist Kentucky guys, they think they're better than you. You can just lean into that.
Who's going to see the biggest bump in minutes if Jefferson doesn't go, or at least can't play that much?
Heise starts. Like, you just slide him in there, and you got to roll with him, man. He's your senior. He's playing.
Yeah, that's what I like about it, is that he's a senior. He is a hardened MFer, and he's playing really good basketball right now. Let's just try to get the name pronunciation figured out.
I would also like to point out to whoever's watching, I did not report Joshua Jefferson is going to play, because I've already gotten a couple texts. Hey, I heard you said Jefferson's going to play. It was posed to me, what do I think would happen right now? Okay. Yes. I don't know anything.
Your gut tells you that he's going to be able
I think he's going to try.
You're not reporting it.
Yes.
They're very different things.
We have media today. I guarantee we will not learn a thing. They're not going to know, because it's not even 24 hours after the injury.
But you know what we're going to do? We're going to read into how TJ talks about it, how Jefferson looks and sounds and all that nonsense. And it also, when you're looking at this from a Kentucky angle, will make Iowa State a little bit more difficult to prepare for, because you don't know. You don't know what the game plan is going to be, how much you're going to see Jefferson, what TJ is going to do without him.
I was at the hotel bar. We were eating dinner last night, watching the Iowa and Northern Iowa games, and these gentlemen from Cedar Rapids, engineers and a veterinarian, very kind. They loved the show, and they listened to our Monday show on their way down yesterday, and they were very complimentary of our Iowa lottery reads. The woohoo! Woo! 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 Woohoo! Matt, come on the screen real quick. Swear to God, this guy says to me, my favorite part of your show is when Van Woke does the little sound drops.
Oh, yeah.
He loves the. He also loves the one. He says We need more, at least one episode of Lindsay from Game Day Men's Health telling Hassel he has zero testosterone.
You have zero T.
Oh, I got a text from Lindsay earlier this week. Guess
How's
what?
the peptides going?
Guess what? Peptides are going great. I'm loving the pee. Woo! Shoulder's doing good. I'm even able to sleep on this shoulder now. She said she got her very first Chris Hassel reference.
Nice.
Someone came
That's
in
so great
and said, "Give me the pee. I want whatever Hassel's got."
I'm telling you, these peptides are all the rage.
They are.
These kids are loving the peptides.
I would bathe in peptides if it was socially acceptable.
I reckon that's what that cross-country kid at Iowa State was into. I was reading about that.
He was into everything.
How about this guy?
Look at the guy in front of me in this picture. He has a Florida shirt on, but an Iowa hat that just says champions.
What do we think about these guys? And I actually am fine with it, but like I saw like 3 dudes like all hawked out at the Iowa State game yesterday, actively rooting for Tennessee State.
Oh, they were rooting for Tennessee State too?
Yeah, just being
Is it like I think it's Iowa fans now wear it as like a badge of honor because Iowa State fans see it and they post it like Bren did yesterday and like, there's always one.
Matt, show the tweet that I put out last night it's the preview for Iowa and Florida.
Yeah,
on Sunday.
It's right. This one here.
Yeah. So then
Dude,
you have Iowa. This is Iowa.
Did you put my face on Cooper's body? Our friend Coop. That looks just like that is his body.
Nice shoes too.
Yeah.
Florida.
That's not
and
Coop.
Iowa. No.
Is that SEC Tony?
Hey, speaking of game day, it's game day for the women today.
Oh,
it is. Yeah. What are the point spreads on those things?
I saw Syracuse is down to 6.5. Syracuse plus 6.5 against Iowa State in Storrs, Connecticut. Iowa, I saw 31.5 against. Is it FDU they're playing?
I would lay the points.
I have also seen they're a little bit worried about the temperature inside Carver. There's no air conditioning at Carver. It's like the Jack Trice press box. And so it's going to be 90. You got it now? Okay.
We got it now. They got the boxes put in. It's actually the opposite now. It is so cold in that press box. Yeah.
Well,
I'll be damned.
Iowa will kill FDU today. There's no question about that.
All those poor women are just going to be sweating profusely because oh man.
I like Syracuse to cover that number against the Iowa State women. That's too many points. I don't know anything about Syracuse, the Orange women, but I like Syracuse to cover that number, especially if you can get it at 7.5. My book has it at 6.5.
Our friend Steve Kemp says, "Can you imagine the stench in Carver?" I would add that it already smells when you walk into that place.
Why would
How
you
are they
say
going
that?
to keep those Carver cones from melting?
Oh yeah, it'll
that's
be a good
point.
day for the Carver cones.
Well, maybe.
I can't stand that people go in there when it's minus 10 outside, and they go in at Carver and Hilton, and they eat ice cream on January 13th.
Oh, the Williams girls, man, it's a must. We don't even get to sit down. We're going straight for the clone cones. Those Elise.
That's just so stupid.
Maddie,
it's like
your girls
ordering
like
a
that?
margarita.
Oh, that's the only reason we go to Hilton for the clone.
Yeah. And Cy. We got to go find Cy.
Well, no, my Lindley does not like Cy.
Oh,
She's
well, she
deathly
will.
afraid.
She'll get to the point.
Why have they not figured out how to make red colored ice cream?
Yeah,
It's
it's like
pink.
Well, they've
It's
got
pink and yellow.
At Iowa State, they have figured it out. It's bright red now. It used to be.
Oh, it
pink.
is?
Now it.
Everything I've seen, it's been pink and yellow, pink and yellow, pink and yellow, pink and yellow.
Is that
so
a
when we
Little Wayne song?
Lil Wayne. So we're gonna do. Will we do a regular show on Monday morning?
We got to talk about that. We got to figure that out.
Okay. Okay.
I'm trying to work out my travel. I have a whole thing and it'll depend on if Iowa State wins, and because next week's going to be crazy for me. I have the family stuff I got to go back and do. I told you about.
Yep.
So I don't know what the hell I'm doing.
Okay.
So we'll figure it. I think we should plan on a normal show and be a little bit flexible.
Well, let's predict right now. I think on Monday, I think that despite the injury, we'll be talking about Iowa State in the Sweet 16.
I do too.
It would take a miracle. I mean, look, Iowa hasn't made a Sweet 16 since the 90s. They're a 10.5-point underdog. Probably, I just hope we're talking about a good game against Florida, a tight game, a game where Iowa put their best foot forward as a great launch off to the Ben McCollum era. And obviously both women's teams, well, Iowa will be playing. I don't know about Iowa State.
Iowa State will lose to Kentucky or to UConn by 50.
But that'll be on Monday, right? Won't that game be on Monday?
Yeah. They'll lose by 50.
Yeah. Maybe it'd be better if they just lose to Syracuse and get the hell out of there.
I disagree. I want, for Finley's sake, it's been a really frustrating season. I think that there's a very passionate core group of Iowa State women's fans, and I want them to all have the moment today. So, and then you're getting fed to you're just going to get slaughtered. Like nobody.
AZ Fudd is like every commercial break. That commercial of hers on these March Madness things where she's supposedly benching 135 pounds incline, and it looks like it's like 5 pounds.
Matt, you said it's going to be 90 today. Let me ask you something. These Kaburskis.
Yes, sir.
It is Kaburski season. Is the grass getting green? Like is your grass starting to green up already?
It's that time of year where it's that brown, where it goes dormant, but you're starting to see those little green
little sprouts.
Grass comes little sprouts are coming up.
I bet
that's when you know your grass is healthy, right? When it starts coming green like
this
that.
warm day.
Yeah.
Well, these Kaburskis take care of both of our lawns, and they do a great job.
Damn, Kaburskis.
Kaburski Brothers Lawn Care. You should give them a call for your treat. I'm serious. Like, even if you want to mow your own lawn, let them do the chemicals for you. You don't need to worry about that. Spread your seed with the Kaburskis. Cheers to the freaking weekend.
Cheers to the freaking weekend. Let's raise our glass of Steeple Ridge bourbon.
I'm going to just spend all day inside of the arena stalking Joshua Jefferson's ankle.
Why don't you pour some Steeple Ridge on that thing? I bet that would
what if they
would
inject Steeple Ridge bourbon into Joshua Jefferson's
How about some peptides? Get him over to game day.
I don't know.
Feed that ankle peptides.
So anyway, that is my day. I'm gonna head over to the Enterprise Center and just work all day and hopefully get out. I want to watch Hoiberg's team, Nebraska. I'm truly rooting for them. Like I know that Iowa fans hate Nebraska, but Fred's my friend, and I'll root for him.
Fred's my friend. He's a friend of mine.
I love Fred. Fred's one of the best people. Like I love Linzer on the staff. I know a lot of those guys, and it is a cool story. They've never won a tournament game. Like it's kind of insane.
Can't say that anymore now.
I know.
That's always I was one of Iowa's go-tos when talking to a Nebraska fan.
So I mean, Hassel, you're just going to sit at the pool and watch games all day, right?
Well, I've been cooped up inside because I've got 3 TVs. You got the multi-view setups too with YouTube TV. But since today and tomorrow, there's only like one game going at once for most of the day, I might be able to get some sun, catch some sun rays.
What's your game of the day?
Game of the day today?
Yeah.
Let's go with, I think Texas Gonzaga can be really good. But it's the one I'm most interested in, I think, is Vandy, Nebraska.
Yeah, me too.
I think
that place is going to be, if you think Florida's a home game in Florida, this Nebraska team in Oklahoma City, my God, that fan base showed up.
I would put Duke on upset alert today.
I'm worried that was a real wake-up call for Duke in that first game against Siena.
I've been riding TCU in Kansas City, and I think that they are playing their best basketball, and
What's that line?
Give me a second here.
I thought it was like 11.5.
I would definitely take points there.
Yeah.
Hold on. I have my Sunday games up right now. Duke is a 12.5 point favorite.
So is that the largest spread of the day? It is.
I would definitely
Michigan St. Louis is also 12.5.
I would take St. Louis in that one. Dude, Michigan has not covered a game since the injury. They're 0-6 against the spread since the injury.
I've got St. Louis in that one. It's to cover anyway.
Yeah, to cover. I don't think they're going to win, but
all right. Well, let's have a weekend.
Let's do it, buddy.
Ba, 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 ba.
All right, we'll see you on Monday. I'm sure I'll get about 1 million texts from you just gambling your face off.
Had a much better day yesterday.
Appreciate everybody hanging out with us here on a Saturday. Enjoy the games. Take care.